Good morning, Refuge Student Ministries. Here we are with another DIGI Sunday. And congrats, because you're free. You're on summer break. Hope you're enjoying it. So this morning, I wanted to try to make this a little bit quicker than normal, which is something I'm trying to do moving forward. But I want us to look at a part in Scripture in Ephesians 4. We're going to be specifically reading Ephesians 4, 1 through 6. And in this text, you have Paul writing to the church of Ephesus. And when I was reading this, it felt very timely. And the reality, I think, if you read a lot of Scripture right now, it's going to feel really timely. But before we even read it, I want to ask this question: what are you sowing seeds of division or unity right now? That's been the big question for me. When you are interacting with friends, when you're posting or reposting on social media, when you're talking with parents, when you're playing games and talking to people, when you're interacting in some way, shape, or form, are you sowing seeds of division or unity? What that means is, are you saying things that are purposely dividing people? Or are you trying to say things that with the intention to unite the people around you in a conversation or in a thought or just keeping the peace? This is the question I think most Christians should be asking themselves right now when it comes to interaction, because there's a lot of debates, a lot of opinions, and as Christians, it's easy for us to lose sight of the bigger picture, which is God, which is the gospel, which is salvation. And so with all those things said, let's read this body of text, shall we? So it says, "Therefore I, the prisoner in the Lord, urge you to live worthy of the calling you have received, with all humility and gentleness, with patience, bearing with one another in love, making every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. There is one body, one Spirit, just as you are called to one hope at your calling. One Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is above all, and through all, and in all." Let's unpack it really quick, shall we? The first thing I want us to note, Paul's writing, he's urging this church at Ephesus to live worthy of the calling you have received. If we're going to take this into today, to our point of view, our perspective, our day and age, ask yourself, what's the calling? If Paul's writing and addressing faithful Christians in a church in a town called Ephesus, God made this a part of His Word for a reason, and so we need to ask ourselves, what's the calling we've received? To me, it's to live faithfully to God and glorify Him in action and truth. In simple terms, to love and serve God so we can love and serve others. That's the calling. And so he's saying live worthy of the calling you received, so live faithfully to that. Recognize that, like as Christians, we have a calling that is a big deal. It's representing Christ so others can experience and know Him. But then he goes into the how. How do you even do this? And he says, be humble, be gentle, be patient. Those are the first steps of living worthy of that calling. Be humble. Stop thinking of yourself less, but think of yourself less. I think I just said that twice. Doesn't matter. It's early. I need coffee. But it's to be humble, to view others as more important than yourselves in certain scenarios. Right now, when tensions are hot, maybe we should think twice before we're posting our opinions. Maybe we should actually ask ourselves, what should I do that aligns with my calling? I don't even know how to answer that. To me, in my opinion, it's having tough conversations with those who aren't white, so I can understand their perspective. To me, that's something that aligns with the calling. So be humble, be patient. This is a big one, because with patience, we have to realize that things take time. It's not going to happen overnight. I think we've all had to experience patience in this season. Some of us still have to with quarantine. Things are stripped away. We have to wait. Then be gentle. Don't be rude. Don't be angry. Don't be filled with this need to be tough. Like, you can be gentle, be soft in certain scenarios. To me, this would even line up with listen more, talk less. Listening can be a very gentle act where you just sit and you listen to what others are saying before you even say anything. And then Paul goes on to say to bear with one another in love, making every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. This is a time right now where we need to display Christ-like love to all those around us. It's a time we have to make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. True unity comes from Christ, period, the end. And the way we do that is by trying to make every effort to maintain the bond of peace between brothers and sisters, between those around you. Now, I don't know what that looks like, because every scenario is different. But it's moments like this where you can look at Jesus, you can look at his example, you can be in prayer to ask for guidance for this. Because to me, this is why I wanted to read it, was this part. To make every effort to maintain and keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. That's something we should be reminding ourselves every time we interact. Is this thing I'm about to say or do, is this maintaining and keeping the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace, or is this not? We have a lot of opinions, and I get that. But right now is an important season for us as members of the church to remind ourselves that there's one body, one Spirit, one hope, one calling, and that's all from Christ. And this should be a season where we want others to experience that, because we know that true unity and peace and comfort in the pain and in the confusion and in the hurt comes from him. And so I want you to ask yourselves again, are you sowing seeds of division or unity? Picture your words and your actions just seeds that are being planted on the ground. Are those plants that are going to take root in the soil? Or are those plants going to be plants that are causing division, or plants that are causing unity? Let's be wise this week. Let's bear with one another in love. And in that love, we can sit in the pain together. We can sit in the tough conversations together. We can just be together as one body, united by Christ. Love you all. Be good. And let's embrace the bond of peace this week.